My child, listen to me carefully because this message is not reaching you by accident. You have spent too long believing that your weakness pushed me away, too long hiding your heart behind exhaustion, fear, and silent shame. But today, I am calling you closer, not farther. There are things your soul desperately needs to hear before this message ends, and if you leave too early, you may miss the very words that could begin healing the heaviness you have been carrying for so long. Stay with me through every moment of this message. Let your guard down. Let your heart listen instead of running again. Because before this is over, you are going to realize something life has tried very hard to make you forget. I'm still happy with you, and I never stopped wanting you near me. I know there are moments when you avoid being still with me because you are afraid of what you think I feel about you. You have carried this quiet fear for longer than you realize. Somewhere along the way, you started believing that every struggle, every delay, and every weakness made me disappointed in you. So even when you pray, part of your heart stays guarded. You speak to me carefully, almost as if you expect rejection to meet you the moment you become fully honest. But that is not my heart toward you. I see how hard you have been on yourself. I see the pressure you carry every day to keep going while feeling emotionally drained inside. There are things you never say out loud to anyone because you worry people would not understand the heaviness you live with sometimes. Yet I understand it completely. I know the thoughts that keep you awake at night. I know the exhaustion behind your smile. I know how many times you have questioned whether you are becoming too broken, too distant, or too difficult to love. But you are not. You keep measuring yourself by your worst moments instead of seeing yourself through my eyes. When I look at you, I do not see someone failing beyond repair. I see someone who has kept moving forward even while carrying pain that others never noticed. I see someone who still cared deeply despite disappointment. I see someone who keeps searching for hope even after seasons that drained your strength. That matters to me more than you realize. I never expected you to handle every battle perfectly. I never asked you to become flawless before coming close to me. What I wanted was your honesty. I wanted the real you, not the version you think sounds strong enough to deserve love. You do not need to hide your confusion from me. You do not need to pretend your faith is stronger than it feels right now. I already know where your heart is tired, and I have not stepped away because of it. Please stop assuming my silence means rejection. Sometimes I stay quiet because your heart needs rest more than answers in that moment. Sometimes healing begins slowly in places you cannot yet see. I have still been beside you through every difficult thought, every lonely night, and every moment you questioned your worth. I am happy with you, my child. Not because you have everything figured out, but because your heart still has softness in it after everything life has put you through. You are still trying. You are still here. And I have never stopped loving you gently through every unfinished part of your journey. My child, stop running from the quiet moments where you can hear my voice again. I know why you distract yourself so often. I know why you keep filling your mind with noise, scrolling endlessly, staying busy, or carrying conversations longer than you need to. Deep inside, you are afraid that if everything becomes still, all the emotions you buried will rise at once. You worry that you will finally feel how tired your heart really is. But come closer to me now instead of avoiding that stillness. Sit with me for a moment and let your soul breathe again. You do not have to carry yourself through this alone anymore. I have watched you trying to stay strong for everyone around you while quietly neglecting your own spirit. You check on others while your own heart feels empty. You offer encouragement while secretly wondering who would notice if you finally admitted how overwhelmed you have become. I noticed long before you found the words for it yourself. That is why I am calling you closer instead of farther away. I am not asking you to impress me. I am asking you to stop hiding from the comfort I have been trying to give you. Come honestly. Come tired if you need to. Come confused if that is where your heart is today. Do not wait until your emotions are organized before speaking with me again. You have spent too much time believing you must clean up your inner world before I will sit beside you. That belief has exhausted you more than you realize. Lay those fears down now. Release the pressure to appear fine all the time. Let your guard lower in my presence. You are safe here. You keep thinking your distance protects you from disappointment, but it is only deepening your loneliness. I never asked you to face your storms without me. Invite me into the places you usually keep closed. Bring me your frustration, your doubts, your questions, and even the thoughts you feel ashamed of. I already know them, my child. Nothing becomes more frightening to me once you speak it aloud. Listen carefully now. Stop punishing yourself emotionally for being human. Stop assuming every difficult feeling means you are failing spiritually. Your heart has been carrying wounds for a long time, and healing does not happen through avoidance. Healing begins when you finally allow yourself to be loved while still unfinished. That is the doorway I am asking you to walk through now. Stay near me instead of disappearing into fear again. Let me teach your heart what peace actually feels like. There are moments when you feel emotionally heavy even to yourself. You apologize for your feelings before anyone asks how you are doing. You hesitate before opening up because you fear becoming a burden. Somewhere in your past, you learned that your pain made people uncomfortable. You learned to minimize your needs, hide your struggles, and carry everything quietly so nobody would pull away from you. But I need you to stop believing that you must shrink yourself in order to deserve love. You are not too much for me. Your emotions do not exhaust me. Your questions do not frustrate me. I am not overwhelmed by the parts of you that still feel broken or uncertain. Sit with that truth for a moment instead of rushing past it. Let it settle deeper into your heart because you have spent far too long expecting rejection the moment you become fully honest. I know how carefully you measure your words sometimes. I know you replay conversations afterward, wondering if you said too much or revealed too much emotion. You carry this constant fear that people will eventually grow tired of you once they see the weight you carry inside. That fear has followed you into your relationship with me too. Even when you pray, part of you still braces for disappointment. But I am not watching you with irritation. I am looking at you with compassion. Come closer instead of withdrawing again. Stop convincing yourself that isolation protects you. It only deepens the ache already sitting inside your spirit. Open your heart honestly before me. Speak freely with me. Tell me where you feel tired. Tell me where life feels unfair. Tell me where you are struggling to trust again. I would rather hear your honest pain than watch you silently drown beneath it. You have carried yourself alone for too long. That constant emotional survival mode was never meant to become your normal life. Rest here with me now. Release the pressure to always appear composed and emotionally controlled. You do not have to earn tenderness from me by pretending you are stronger than you really are. I created your heart with depth, sensitivity, and compassion. Do not hate yourself for feeling deeply. The world may have mishandled your softness, but I never will. So stop avoiding my presence because you think your emotions are too complicated or too messy. Bring them to me exactly as they are. I am not stepping away from you, my child. I am asking you to let me stay close enough to heal what you have been hiding for far too long. I need you to release this belief that you must survive every battle alone before you are allowed to rest. You have been carrying responsibilities, emotions, and fears that have slowly drained the joy from your heart. Even now, while you keep moving through your daily life, There is a quiet heaviness inside you that rarely leaves. You have become so used to functioning while exhausted that you no longer notice how deeply tired your soul really is. But I notice it. I see the tension you hold in your thoughts. I see how difficult it has become for you to truly relax without guilt pulling at your mind. Come closer and listen carefully to me now. Stop trying to hold your entire world together with your own strength. You were never created to live under constant pressure like this. Lay some of it down. Release the need to fix every problem immediately. Release the fear that everything will collapse if you stop carrying the weight for one moment. You have convinced yourself that resting means falling behind, but your exhausted heart cannot heal while living in survival mode every single day. I know why you became this way. Life taught you early that you had to stay alert. You learned how to carry emotional burdens quietly because you feared disappointing people. You became the strong one, the dependable one, the person who kept going no matter how overwhelmed you felt. But strength without rest slowly turns into emptiness. That is why your spirit feels stretched thin lately. You have been giving from places inside yourself that desperately needed healing too. Sit with me for a moment instead of running back into worry. Breathe slowly and let your thoughts settle. Let my presence become a safe place for your heart again. You do not need to solve tomorrow tonight. You do not need to punish yourself for feeling worn down. There is no shame in admitting you are tired. There is wisdom in it. Even storms pause eventually, and your soul needs that same permission to recover. I am not disappointed because you feel overwhelmed sometimes. I am inviting you to stop hiding your exhaustion from me. Speak honestly with me about what hurts. Tell me what feels too heavy. Open the places you usually keep locked away behind forced smiles and quiet endurance. I can handle the truth of your emotions. Let me carry what has been crushing your peace. Stop gripping every burden so tightly. Trust me enough to loosen your hands and allow comfort back into your life again. My child, even as I speak to you about laying down every burden, I am also calling you into something deeper, partnering with me to carry light into other broken hearts. I say to you now, cast your burden upon me, and watch how I turn it into purpose for others. For my word is alive in Psalm 55:22. And I am inviting you to sow into this mission so my voice can reach those who are still collapsing under invisible weight. When you support this work, you become a vessel of oil poured into dry places, and I will not forget your obedience. I tell you, every seed you give becomes a river of comfort flowing into someone who thought they could not continue. This is not just support. It is alignment with my compassion in action. So I command you now, do not delay. Give through super thanks, join through membership, or sow your seed through PayPal, and the PayPal link is in the video description. There is something beautiful inside you that pain has tried very hard to bury. Over time, disappointment changed the way you see yourself. You became so focused on surviving difficult seasons that you slowly lost sight of who you really are beneath the exhaustion. Now when you look at yourself, you mostly notice flaws, delays, mistakes, and unanswered questions. But I need you to see something different today. I need you to stop looking at yourself only through the lens of your wounds. I still see the gentle heart inside you. I still see the compassion you carry for people even after being hurt yourself. I still see the quiet dreams you stopped speaking about because disappointment convinced you they would never happen. None of those things disappeared, my child. They became buried beneath stress, heartbreak, fear, and emotional fatigue. But buried is not the same as gone. Come back to yourself again. Return to the parts of your heart that life tried to harden. Stop speaking to yourself with constant criticism. Listen to the way your thoughts have treated you lately. You have become harsher with yourself than you would ever be with someone you love. That is not how I speak to you. I do not stand over your life collecting evidence of failure. I look at you with compassion because I understand the full weight of what you have been carrying. You have survived seasons that almost emptied you emotionally. There were moments when your confidence quietly broke apart behind closed doors while nobody realized how deeply you were struggling. Yet even then, I kept protecting the parts of you that still needed time to heal. I never stopped seeing your value, even during the moments when you questioned whether you still had any. So listen to me now and let these words settle inside your spirit. Stop calling yourself weak because you became tired. Stop labeling yourself a failure because healing took longer than expected. Growth is happening inside you even when it feels painfully slow. The person you are becoming is not ruined. Your future is not destroyed because life became difficult. Lift your head again. Open your heart again. Start believing that joy can still return to your life. Invite hope back into the rooms inside yourself where fear has been living for too long. You are not forgotten by me. You are not too damaged for peace. I am still working within you, gently restoring the parts of your heart that the world handled carelessly. And one day, you will look back and realize that even during your hardest seasons, I never stopped shaping something beautiful inside you. My child, I want you to stop pretending that certain wounds no longer affect you. You have become skilled at hiding pain beneath routine, responsibility, and quiet distraction. People around you may think you are doing fine because you continue showing up, continue smiling, continue handling what needs to be handled. But deep inside, there are still bruised places in your heart that ache when nobody is looking. I see those hidden places clearly, and I do not want you to keep carrying them alone. Come closer to me now instead of shutting those emotions away again. Stop changing the subject every time your heart starts feeling vulnerable. Stop convincing yourself that ignoring pain is the same thing as healing. It is not. Wounds left untouched do not disappear quietly. They settle deeper into your thoughts, your relationships, your confidence, and the way you speak to yourself. That is why certain memories still affect you so strongly. That is why certain words from people continue echoing in your mind long after they were spoken. You have spent so much time trying to appear emotionally strong that you forgot strength also includes honesty. Sit with me for a moment and tell me what still hurts. Bring me the rejection you never fully recovered from. Bring me the disappointment that changed the way you trust people. Bring me the silent sadness you carry when life becomes quiet at night. I am not uncomfortable with your emotions, my child. I already know every detail of what you have been carrying. I know there are moments when you wonder whether healing is even possible anymore. Some parts of your heart feel so tired that hope itself feels risky. Yet I am asking you now to open those closed rooms inside yourself instead of locking them tighter. Invite me into the places where fear still speaks loudly. Invite me into the memories that still make your chest feel heavy. Do not rush this process. Real healing rarely happens loudly or instantly. Sometimes it begins softly, like sunlight slowly entering a dark room that has been closed for years. Listen carefully now. Stop calling yourself damaged beyond repair. Stop labeling yourself according to the worst moments you survived. Your pain may explain some of your struggles, but it does not define your identity. I am still restoring you even in ways you cannot fully see yet. Let me continue that work. Stay near me instead of retreating into isolation again. Healing grows where honesty and love are finally allowed to meet. My child, I know there are times when you become nervous the moment you feel me drawing close to your heart. Instead of comfort, fear rises first. You immediately begin thinking about your flaws, your inconsistency, your mistakes, and the areas where you still feel weak. You expect my voice to sound harsh because life has trained you to associate closeness with criticism. But my voice was never meant to terrify you. I do not speak to you the way shame speaks to you. Come sit with me quietly for a moment and notice the difference. Shame rushes to condemn you quickly. Fear tells you to hide. Pressure tells you that you are only valuable when you are performing well. But when I speak to you, I call you closer instead of pushing you away. Even correction from me carries gentleness because my desire is restoration, not humiliation. I care about healing your heart, not crushing it. You have misunderstood my silence sometimes. You assumed I stepped back because you disappointed me. But many times, I was simply waiting for your anxious thoughts to calm enough for you to recognize that I was still beside you. Your fear has often spoken louder than my comfort. That is why I want you to slow down now. Breathe deeply. Stop expecting rejection every time you think about me. You do not have to brace yourself emotionally before entering my presence. I know the voices that shaped your self-worth over the years. Some people only spoke kindly to you when you met their expectations. Some people made love feel conditional and fragile, as though one mistake could suddenly remove your value. Those experiences left deep marks inside you. Now you carry that same fear into your relationship with me. But I am not unstable in my love toward you. I am not constantly changing my mind about your worth. Listen carefully and let this settle inside your spirit. Stop running the moment conviction touches your heart. Stay with me in those moments instead of withdrawing into guilt. Let my voice guide you gently rather than assuming it exists to shame you. Invite me into your thoughts before fear has the chance to twist everything against you again. You are safe with me, my child. Safe enough to be honest. Safe enough to admit confusion. Safe enough to stop pretending you have everything under control. I am not waiting for the perfect version of you to appear before I speak with tenderness. I am speaking tenderly to you right now, exactly where you are. My child, I know there are days when you feel emotionally distant from me and immediately assume it is your fault. You begin searching through your recent thoughts, your habits, your struggles, trying to figure out what caused the distance. Then the guilt slowly grows inside you, and instead of moving toward me, you pull away even more. You tell yourself that you need to get yourself together before returning to me fully. But listen carefully to what I am saying now. Stop making shame your hiding place. Come close to me while you are still struggling, not after you think you have fixed everything alone. You have spent too much time believing that my love becomes weaker whenever your faith feels tired. That belief has quietly exhausted your spirit. You carry this pressure to always feel spiritually strong, emotionally steady, and mentally certain. Yet you are human, my child. There are seasons where your heart feels worn thin. There are moments where confusion becomes loud. There are nights when your prayers feel small and fragile. None of that scares me away from you. Come sit with me honestly. Speak openly instead of carefully editing your emotions before bringing them to me. Tell me where you feel disconnected. Tell me where fear has been whispering lies into your thoughts. Let me into the places where disappointment has slowly made your heart guarded again. I already see every hidden corner of your soul, yet I still want you near me. That has never changed. You keep assuming distance protects you from rejection, but your isolation is only deepening the loneliness you already carry. Open the door again. Invite me into your everyday thoughts instead of limiting me to emergency moments when life becomes unbearable. Walk with me through ordinary moments too. Let me comfort you before your exhaustion becomes overwhelming. I know there were people in your life who only stayed close when you were easy to understand or emotionally convenient. That experience shaped the way you approach relationships now. Part of you still fears abandonment every time you become vulnerable. But I do not grow tired of your healing process. I am not standing beside you with impatience in my heart. I am staying close because I love you deeply, even through the parts of your journey that still feel messy and unfinished. Stop hesitating every time you feel me drawing your heart closer. Stop questioning whether you still belong near me. You do. You always will. Come back into my presence without fear. Rest here for a while. Let your anxious thoughts settle. Let your soul remember what safety feels like again. My child, just as I have not withdrawn from you in your weakest moments, I am calling you to step closer into my work of bringing others back from distance and despair. I declare over you today, I will never leave you nor forsake you, as written in Hebrews 13:5, and this promise is not only for your healing but for the healing of many. When you support this mission, you are opening a door for my presence to reach those who feel abandoned and unseen. I will turn your giving into light that finds people hiding in emotional darkness. Every act of obedience becomes a testimony that I still draw near to the brokenhearted. This is a divine appointment, not a casual moment. Your response matters now. So I command you with love and authority. Give through super thanks. Become a member, or so via PayPal, and the PayPal link is in the video description. My child, your mind had been carrying too much fear for too long. Even during moments that should feel peaceful, your thoughts remain alert, tense, and prepared for disappointment. You have become so used to expecting something painful to happen that it now feels difficult for you to fully relax. I see how exhausting that has become for you. I see how your heart races over small uncertainties. I see how often you replay conversations, worry about the future, and quietly brace yourself for loss before anything has even gone wrong. Come closer and release some of that fear into my hands now. Stop trying to predict every possible outcome in order to protect yourself emotionally. You cannot heal while living every day as though danger is hiding around every corner. Your soul was not designed to survive on constant anxiety. It was created for peace, connection, trust, and rest. I know why fear became familiar to you. Some of your wounds came suddenly and without warning. Certain disappointments caught you completely unprepared. People you trusted changed unexpectedly. Doors you hoped would open stayed closed. After enough painful moments, your mind started believing that staying anxious would somehow keep you safe. But fear has not protected your heart, my child. It has only drained your joy little by little. Sit quietly with me for a moment instead of racing ahead into tomorrow's worries again. Breathe slowly. Let your thoughts settle down. Notice how often you speak harshly to yourself whenever uncertainty appears. You immediately assume you are falling behind, making mistakes, or failing in some invisible way. But I am not measuring your worth according to your fears or your productivity. I care about your peace too. Open your hands emotionally and stop gripping everything so tightly. You do not need to carry the future alone. You do not need to solve every unanswered question tonight. Let me guide you one step at a time instead of demanding clarity for your entire life all at once. Trust grows slowly, and I am patient with your healing process. Invite peace back into your heart again. Not temporary distraction, not forced positivity, but real peace. The kind that allows your soul to breathe without panic constantly standing nearby. Stay close to me when fear starts growing loud. Speak with me honestly instead of silently drowning beneath anxious thoughts. I am still leading you, still protecting you, and still holding your life with care even during the moments when your heart struggles to feel secure. My child, I know there are parts of your heart that still struggle to believe love can exist without conditions attached to it. You have experienced relationships where affection changed depending on your performance, your usefulness, or your ability to meet expectations. Because of that, you became cautious. You learned how to guard your emotions carefully. Even now, when someone shows you kindness, part of you waits for disappointment to follow behind it. That fear has shaped the way you see yourself more than you realize. But come closer to me now and listen carefully. You do not have to earn my tenderness. You do not have to constantly prove your value in order to stay close to me. I already know every hidden insecurity you carry, every fear you rarely admit aloud, every quiet moment where you question whether you are truly lovable. Still, I remain beside you with gentleness in my heart. Let that truth settle deeply inside you instead of brushing past it quickly. You have spent so much time protecting yourself emotionally that receiving love now feels unfamiliar. When care is offered to you, your instinct is often to pull back, minimize your needs, or convince yourself you are asking for too much. Stop doing that, my child. Stop shrinking yourself in order to feel safer. Stop apologizing for needing comfort, reassurance, or peace. Your heart was never created to survive without love. It was created to live within it. Sit with me for a moment and let your walls lower slowly. You do not need to rush this process. I understand why trust feels difficult sometimes. Some wounds taught you to expect abandonment the moment you became fully vulnerable. But I am not temporary in my love toward you. I am not standing beside you waiting for the perfect version of you to appear before I stay close. Invite me into the places where fear still controls your thinking. Let me heal the part of you that constantly expects rejection. Speak honestly with me when insecurity grows loud inside your thoughts again. I would rather hear your honest struggle than watch you silently suffer behind emotional walls that were built from old pain. You are deeply loved, my child, even in your unfinished healing. Receive that instead of fighting against it. Let yourself rest in it for a while. The world may have taught you to fear closeness, but I am teaching your heart something different now. I am teaching you that real love does not disappear the moment you become emotionally honest. Real love stays. My child, there are memories you keep reopening even though they have already wounded you enough. You revisit old mistakes, old regrets, old conversations, and each time you do, you quietly place yourself back inside pain that I never wanted you to carry forever. I see how often your mind drifts backward. I see how quickly guilt rises whenever you think about the moments where life did not go the way you hoped. But listen carefully now. Stop punishing yourself for chapters that have already ended. You have carried regret like heavy chains around your heart for far too long. Sometimes you speak to yourself as though one mistake erased every good thing about you. Sometimes you treat your past like permanent proof that you are broken beyond repair. That is not truth, my child. Your worst moment was never meant to become your identity. Come sit with me quietly and release some of this weight now. Stop replaying every detail of what you wish you had done differently. You cannot heal while constantly reopening wounds that need peace instead of endless examination. Learn from your past, yes, but do not build your home there emotionally. I did not create you to live trapped inside yesterday. I know some regrets still ache deeply because they involved people you loved, opportunities you lost, or seasons where you felt lost within yourself. Certain memories still carry embarrassment, sadness, or disappointment when they return to your mind. But I want you to notice something important. Even after everything you regret, you are still here. You are still growing. You are still becoming someone capable of love, wisdom, and healing. Your story did not end in those painful moments. Open your hands emotionally and let some of that guilt leave you now. Stop speaking over your life as though failure is the only thing your future will ever produce. Invite grace back into the way you see yourself. I already knew every mistake you would make before you ever made it, and I still chose to stay close to you. That alone should show you how deeply loved you truly are. Walk forward now instead of standing in old shadows. Speak to yourself with more mercy. Let your heart breathe again instead of constantly dragging it backward through shame. You are not beyond restoration. You never were. I am still writing beautiful things into your future, and I do not want your fear of the past to stop you from receiving the peace waiting ahead of you. My child, your heart has been living in tension for so long that peace now feels unfamiliar to you. Even during quiet moments, your thoughts continue racing from one worry to another. You struggle to fully relax because part of you believes something painful will happen the moment you let your guard down. I understand why you became this way. Life has surprised you with heartbreak before. Certain disappointments arrived without warning and left deep marks inside your spirit. But listen to me carefully now. You cannot keep living as though fear deserves permanent space inside your heart. Come closer to me and allow yourself to rest for a moment without mentally preparing for disaster. Sit quietly with me. Breathe slowly. Let your shoulders loosen. Let your thoughts settle instead of chasing every anxious possibility through the night. You have been carrying emotional tension like a heavy backpack that never leaves your shoulders. No wonder your soul feels exhausted. I want you to stop expecting pain in every future moment. Stop assuming every unanswered message, every delay, every uncertain situation will automatically end in disappointment. Your mind has developed habits shaped by old wounds, but those wounds do not have to control your future forever. Invite peace back into your thinking again. Let my presence interrupt the constant pressure inside your thoughts. You have spent too much time surviving emotionally and not enough time truly living. There is still beauty around you that your anxious mind keeps overlooking. There are still moments of joy trying to reach your heart. But fear has kept your spirit standing at the window instead of stepping fully into life again. Open the door now. Stop rehearsing worst-case scenarios every time uncertainty appears. Trust me enough to believe I am still guiding you even when you cannot immediately see the outcome. I know there are nights when your thoughts become loud and restless. You replay conversations. You analyze small details. You wonder if you are falling behind while everyone else moves ahead. But your worth is not measured by how quickly your life unfolds. Your value has never depended on perfection, speed, or constant productivity. Rest here with me now instead of carrying tomorrow before it even arrives. Let me calm the chaos inside your mind. Speak honestly with me whenever fear starts pulling your thoughts into dark places again. You do not have to silently battle anxiety alone. I am still with you in every uncertain moment, gently leading you back toward peace one step at a time. My child, as I call your heart back into peace, I am also calling you to become a carrier of that peace to nations and souls still trapped in anxiety. I speak now. Peace I leave with you, my peace I give unto you. From John 14:27. And I am releasing that same peace through this mission. When you support this work, you are planting seeds into a spiritual field where fear is being replaced with divine rest. I will multiply your giving like manna in the wilderness, enough to sustain more lives than you can see. Every contribution becomes a ripple of calm in minds that are still in storm. This is your moment to partner with me in releasing serenity into chaos. So I command you now, act without hesitation, give through super thanks, join membership, or sow through PayPal, and the PayPal link is in the video description. My child, one of the deepest burdens inside your heart is the belief that you must constantly prove yourself in order to remain worthy of love. You carry this pressure into nearly every part of your life. You feel responsible for keeping everyone happy, staying useful, staying strong, and meeting expectations even when your own spirit feels completely drained. Somewhere along the way, you began believing that your value depended on how much you could give without breaking. But come closer and listen carefully to me now. You do not have to earn your place with me. You do not need to perform your way into my love. I am not standing beside you with a checklist, waiting for you to finally become good enough before I welcome you close. That pressure did not come from my heart. I never wanted your relationship with me to feel like endless striving. You have spent years exhausting yourself emotionally, trying to deserve peace that I already wanted to give you freely. Even now, when you rest, guilt often follows behind it. When you slow down, your mind immediately tells you that you should be doing more, fixing more, achieving more. That constant pressure has quietly stolen so much joy from your life. It has made you feel like rest must be earned instead of received. Sit with me for a moment without trying to impress me. Stop editing your emotions before bringing them into my presence. Stop speaking to me as though you must sound spiritually perfect in order for me to stay close. I already know your weaknesses, your confusion, your fears, and your exhaustion. Still, I want you near me. You were never meant to live like a machine constantly running without care for your own heart. You are my beloved child, not a project that must achieve flawless performance before receiving affection. Let the truth settle inside you deeply. Allow yourself to believe that I can love you fully even while parts of your healing remain unfinished. Release some of this pressure now. Lay down the exhausting need to constantly prove your worth. Invite gentleness back into the way you treat yourself. I am not asking you to become someone else before approaching me. I am asking you to come honestly, openly, and without fear. Stay near me instead of disappearing into shame whenever you feel imperfect. Let your soul breathe here again. The love I have for you is not fragile, temporary, or dependent on your performance. It is steady, it is patient, and it has remained with you through every season, including the ones where you struggled to believe you deserved it at all. My child, you have been carrying this quiet fear that your life is somehow moving too slowly. You look around and see other people reaching milestones, building relationships, achieving dreams, and finding direction while you still feel uncertain in areas where you expected clarity by now. That comparison has weighed heavily on your heart. Even when good things happen for you, part of your mind immediately drifts toward what still has not happened yet. I see how discouraging that has become for you. Come closer and listen carefully to me now. Stop measuring your journey against the lives of other people. You are looking at pieces of their story while criticizing yourself with full knowledge of every struggle you carry privately. That comparison will always wound your peace. Release it. Let it go before it steals even more joy from moments that were meant to nourish your spirit. You have spent too much time believing delay automatically means failure. But not every slow season is punishment. Some seasons exist to strengthen you quietly before certain doors open. Some growth happens beneath the surface where nobody can immediately see it. You keep judging yourself because you expected your life to look different by now. But I need you to understand something important. Your story is still unfolding. You are not abandoned because your path looks different from somebody else's. Stop speaking over your future as though it has already lost its purpose. Stop treating yourself like someone who missed every opportunity forever. Sit with me for a moment instead of racing through anxious thoughts about time, age, expectations, and unfinished dreams. Breathe deeply and allow your heart to slow down. I am still guiding your life even during seasons where clarity feels delayed. I know there are moments when your confidence quietly collapses because you feel left behind. I know you wonder whether you are too late for certain dreams, certain relationships, or certain forms of happiness. But your timing is not ruined, my child. There are still beautiful things ahead of you that your current fears cannot yet imagine. Invite hope back into your thinking again. Open your heart to the possibility that your future still carries joy, peace, connection, and fulfillment. Trust me enough to stop rushing your healing and your growth. I am not disappointed in the pace of your journey. Stay close to me instead of pressuring yourself endlessly. Your life is not finished. Your purpose has not disappeared. And I have not forgotten the dreams hidden quietly inside your heart. My child, there have been so many moments where you cried quietly while pretending everything was fine in front of everyone else. You became skilled at swallowing emotions before they reached the surface because you did not want to burden people or appear weak. Even now, there are tears you hold back because you fear being misunderstood. But I want you to stop hiding your pain from me. Bring it into my presence honestly instead of carrying it silently until your heart feels numb. I have seen every hidden tear you thought nobody noticed. I saw the nights where exhaustion wrapped around your thoughts and you stared into the darkness wondering how much longer you could carry everything emotionally. I saw the moments where disappointment hit your heart so deeply that words could not fully explain what you felt. Even during those silent moments, I stayed near you. I never turned away from your sorrow. Come sit with me now without pretending you are stronger than you feel. Let yourself breathe honestly for a while. Release the pressure to appear emotionally composed all the time. You are human, my child. Your tears are not proof of failure. Sometimes tears are evidence that your heart has been carrying more than it was ever meant to carry alone. I know part of you still feels embarrassed by how deeply certain things affected you. You tell yourself you should have healed faster by now. You criticize yourself for still feeling pain connected to old wounds. But healing is not cold or mechanical. Hearts recover slowly, gently, and honestly. Stop speaking to yourself with such harshness whenever emotions rise to the surface again. Invite me into those painful memories instead of locking them away. Tell me what still hurts. Tell me where disappointment still lingers. Open the places where sadness has quietly settled inside your spirit. I am not uncomfortable with your tears. I am not impatient with your healing process. I care deeply about the emotional weight you carry. Do not rush yourself out of grief before your heart has fully processed what it survived. But also do not stay trapped there forever. Let me comfort you now. Let me remind you that pain is not the end of your story. Your heart will not always feel this heavy. Joy will return again, even if it feels difficult to believe right now. Stay close to me when sadness grows loud instead of isolating yourself emotionally. Let your tears become honest conversation instead of silent suffering. I am here with you, my child, and I have never once looked at your pain without compassion. My child, there is something I need you to notice about the way you speak to yourself. You often act as though peace, joy, and happiness belong to other people more than they belong to you. Deep inside, there is still a part of your heart that feels undeserving of good things after everything you have been through. Sometimes you sabotage your own peace before it fully reaches you because pain has become more familiar than comfort. But listen carefully to me now. Stop treating happiness like something you must apologize for. You have carried disappointment for so long that your heart has slowly forgotten what safety feels like. When something good begins entering your life, fear quickly follows behind it. You start expecting loss before joy has even settled inside you. I see how difficult it has become for you to fully receive beautiful moments without worrying they will suddenly disappear. But I do not want you living in constant anticipation of heartbreak. That is not the life I intended for your soul. Come sit with me quietly and allow yourself to imagine peace without guilt attached to it. Let yourself believe that your future can still contain laughter, rest, love, and emotional stability. Stop assuming your difficult past automatically disqualifies you from happiness. Your wounds may have shaped parts of your story, but they do not control what I can still restore within your life. I know there are moments where you feel guilty for wanting more from life. You question whether your dreams are unrealistic. You wonder if hoping again will only leave you disappointed one more time. But do not close your heart just because pain once entered through an open door. Healing requires openness too. Joy requires openness. Connection requires openness. Do not let fear turn your heart into a locked room where nothing beautiful can enter anymore. Invite peace back into your life without suspicion. Welcome gentle moments instead of immediately preparing yourself emotionally for them to end. Speak kindly to yourself when progress feels slow. Rest when your spirit feels tired instead of pushing yourself beyond your emotional limits. I care about your happiness more than you realize. Stay near me while your heart relearns how to receive good things again. Let me remind you that you are not forgotten, cursed, or left behind. You are still deeply loved. You are still worthy of tenderness. And despite everything that tried to convince you otherwise, your life is still capable of holding beautiful things that make your spirit feel alive again. My child, as I restore your understanding of worthiness, I am also calling you to help others believe they are worthy of my love and restoration. I declare over you, you are fearfully and wonderfully made, as written in Psalm 139:14, and this truth must now reach those who feel disqualified from joy. When you support this mission, you are planting seeds of identity healing into hearts that have forgotten their value. I will turn your generosity into testimonies where hopelessness becomes laughter again. Every gift you release becomes a spark that breaks chains of self-condemnation in another soul. This is not random. It is my appointed harvest through you. So I command you now, step forward boldly, give through super thanks, become a member, or so via PayPal, and the PayPal link is in the video description. My child, I know loneliness has weighed heavily on your heart lately. There are moments where you feel surrounded by people yet emotionally unseen at the same time. You carry conversations, responsibilities, and routines throughout the day, but when everything grows quiet, the ache returns again. You wonder who truly understands the thoughts you keep hidden. You question whether anyone really notices how much you are carrying inside. I see that loneliness clearly, and I do not want you to keep suffering silently beneath it. Come closer to me now instead of withdrawing deeper into isolation. Stop convincing yourself that nobody cares enough to understand you. Stop assuming your emotions are too complicated or too heavy to share honestly. I know you became guarded because certain people failed to handle your vulnerability gently. Some dismissed your pain. Some misunderstood your heart. Others only stayed close while things were easy. Those experiences left scars that made trust feel dangerous. But listen carefully now. Loneliness becomes even heavier when you keep building walls around your heart while secretly hoping someone will still reach you through them. Open your heart slowly again. Let yourself be honest about what you need emotionally instead of pretending you are completely fine all the time. Your soul was not created to survive in isolation. I have stayed with you through every silent night where your thoughts became overwhelming. I was there during the moments where tears filled your eyes while nobody else noticed. I was there when exhaustion sat heavily on your chest and you struggled to explain why you felt so emotionally drained. You were never abandoned, even during the moments where loneliness convinced you otherwise. Sit with me for a while and let your heart rest here. Speak openly with me instead of bottling everything inside until your emotions feel unbearable. Tell me where loneliness hurts the most. Tell me where disappointment made you stop trusting connection. I am listening closely to every hidden ache you carry. Do not isolate yourself every time pain returns. Reach toward love instead of retreating deeper into fear. Invite connection back into your life carefully and honestly. There are still people who will value your heart gently. There are still relationships ahead that will bring peace instead of emotional exhaustion. Most importantly, remember this, my child. Loneliness may visit your emotions sometimes, but you are never truly alone. I have remained beside you through every season, every heartbreak, every unanswered question, and every weary night. Stay close to me now, and let your heart remember what companionship feels like again. My child, there is a difference between remembering your past and living trapped inside it. You have carried shame quietly for so long that it now follows you into moments that were meant to feel peaceful. Even when good things begin happening around you, part of your heart still whispers that you do not deserve them. I see how often shame changes the way you look at yourself. It makes you question your worth, your future, and even the possibility of being fully loved. But I need you to stop allowing old pain to define the way you walk through today. Come closer to me and release that shame instead of holding it tightly against your chest. Stop replaying your failures every morning like they are permanent labels attached to your identity. Stop speaking over your life as though one painful chapter erased every beautiful thing I still placed inside you. That is not truth, my child. You are more than your worst decisions. You are more than the seasons where fear controlled your choices. You are more than the moments where exhaustion caused you to lose your way. I know there are memories that still make your heart sink when they return unexpectedly. Certain moments still embarrass you deeply. Certain words spoken over your life still echo louder than they should. But listen carefully now. Shame grows stronger in silence. Bring those wounds honestly into my presence instead of hiding them beneath forced strength. Speak openly with me about the things that still haunt your thoughts. I am not shocked by your struggles. I already know every detail of your story, and I have never stopped loving you. You do not need to punish yourself endlessly in order to prove you regret the past. Some of your deepest healing will begin the moment you stop treating yourself like someone beyond restoration. Sit with me quietly and allow grace to reach the parts of your heart that shame has kept locked away for years. Let your spirit breathe again instead of constantly shrinking beneath guilt. Walk into this new day differently. Lift your head again. Speak to yourself with more compassion. Invite peace into your thoughts instead of replaying condemnation. I am not asking you to pretend your past never happened. I am asking you to stop letting it control the way you see yourself now. Stay close to me while your heart learns how to live without chains attached to every memory. You are still deeply loved, my child, and your story is not over. My child, your mind has been loud for a long time. Even when your surroundings become quiet, your thoughts continue moving like restless waves that never fully settle. You replay situations repeatedly. You analyze conversations long after they end. You imagine future problems before they arrive. Then you carry the emotional weight of those imagined outcomes as though they have already happened. I see how exhausting this has become for you. Your spirit feels tired because your mind rarely rests. Come sit with me for a moment and stop feeding every anxious thought that enters your mind. You do not have to believe every fear that speaks loudly inside you. Not every thought deserves your trust. Some thoughts were shaped by wounds, disappointments, and past heartbreaks that taught you to expect pain before peace. But I want something different for your heart now. Breathe slowly and let your thoughts settle instead of chasing every fear deeper into darkness. Stop trying to mentally solve your entire future overnight. You were never meant to carry tomorrow's weight before tomorrow even arrives. That constant mental pressure is stealing your present peace little by little. Release it into my hands now instead of gripping it tighter. I know there are nights where your thoughts feel heavier than your body can carry. Your mind jumps between regret, fear, uncertainty, and exhaustion until rest itself feels difficult. But you do not have to fight those battles alone in silence. Speak honestly with me when anxiety grows loud. Invite me into the middle of your overthinking instead of isolating yourself emotionally. Let my presence interrupt the storm before it pulls you deeper into fear again. You have spent so much time expecting worst-case endings that peace now feels unfamiliar to your nervous heart. But peace is still possible for you, my child. Not temporary distraction. Not pretending everything is fine. Real peace. The kind that slowly teaches your thoughts how to breathe again. Stop criticizing yourself every time fear returns. Healing your mind is a process, not a switch that changes overnight. Stay patient with yourself while I gently restore calm inside you. Rest your thoughts here with me instead of carrying every worry alone. I'm still guiding your life even when uncertainty surrounds you. You do not need to understand everything immediately in order to trust that I am still holding you securely through every confusing season. My child, I know there are moments when you quietly wonder whether too much damage has already been done inside you. You have carried disappointment for so long that healing sometimes feels distant and unfamiliar. Certain wounds stayed open longer than you expected. Certain betrayal changed the way you trust. Certain seasons drained your energy until even hope began feeling heavy. Because of that, part of you now fears that your heart will never fully feel alive again. But listen carefully to me now. Do not decide your future based on your current exhaustion. Come sit with me and release that hopelessness before it settles any deeper inside your spirit. Stop speaking over yourself as though your pain has already written the ending of your story. Your wounds are real, but they are not permanent rulers over your life. I am still restoring things inside you that you thought were lost forever. I know there are days when your emotions feel numb and disconnected. You miss the version of yourself that once felt lighter, more joyful, more open to life. Sometimes you barely recognize yourself because survival changed you so much. But survival was never meant to become your permanent identity. You are more than the pain you endured. You are more than the heartbreak that reshaped your thoughts. Do not let suffering convince you that healing is impossible for you. Invite me into the places where your heart still feels fragile. Stop hiding those wounded areas behind forced smiles and emotional distance. Let yourself be honest about what still hurts. Tell me where disappointment made you stop believing in good things again. I am not impatient with your healing process, my child. Healing often happens quietly, slowly, and beneath the surface long before you fully recognize the change. You have survived emotional storms that would have completely destroyed some people. Yet your heart still carries kindness inside it. Your spirit still longs for peace. That matters more than you realize. Do not overlook your resilience simply because you still feel tired sometimes. Stay close to me now instead of withdrawing into hopelessness again. Let me teach your heart how to trust joy again little by little. Let me soften the fear that keeps telling you nothing will ever change. You are not beyond healing. You never were. Even now, while you feel uncertain about yourself, I am still rebuilding beautiful things inside your soul that pain tried very hard to erase. My child, even as I rebuild what pain tried to destroy in you, I am calling you to become part of rebuilding others who believe they are beyond repair. I speak now. I will restore to you the years the locust has eaten. From Joel 2:25. And I am extending that restoration through this mission. When you support this work, you are joining my hand in mending hearts that feel permanently shattered. I will multiply your seed like fire spreading through dry wood, fast, unstoppable, and full of purpose. Every act of giving becomes proof that healing is still possible for someone else listening in silence. This is your divine moment to participate in resurrection of hope. So I command you now, do not hold back. Give through Super Thanks, join membership, or sow through PayPal, and the PayPal link is in the video description. My child, there are blessings, connections, and moments of peace that have tried to enter your life, but fear keeps convincing you to close the door before they fully arrive. You hesitate when happiness begins feeling possible. You retreat when closeness becomes real. You overthink good things until anxiety quietly talks you out of receiving them. I see this pattern clearly in your heart, and I need you to understand something important. Fear has been pretending to protect you while slowly isolating you from the very things your soul deeply needs. Come closer to me now and stop running from the possibility of healing. Stop assuming every good thing will eventually hurt you. Not every open door leads to pain. Not every new beginning ends in heartbreak. I know disappointment shaped your expectations. I know certain losses made your heart cautious. But your past is not permission to permanently shut yourself away from love, peace, and connection. You have become so focused on avoiding pain that you sometimes avoid life itself. You silence your needs. You pull away emotionally. You convince yourself that isolation is safer than vulnerability. But safety without connection slowly turns into loneliness. Your soul was created for more than survival. It was created to experience joy, trust, warmth, and meaningful love. Sit with me quietly for a moment and ask yourself honestly what fear hath been stealing from you lately. How many opportunities have you pushed away because insecurity whispered that you were not enough? How many peaceful moments have you ruined by expecting disaster before anything even happened? Fear speaks loudly, my child, but that does not mean it speaks truthfully. Open the door again. Invite hope back into your life carefully but honestly. Allow yourself to receive kindness without immediately questioning whether you deserve it. Let yourself believe that good things can remain instead of automatically expecting them to disappear. This is part of your healing too. I am not asking you to trust blindly or ignore wisdom. I am asking you to stop letting fear control every decision your heart makes. Stay near me while you relearn what emotional safety feels like. Let me guide you through the uncertainty instead of allowing fear to become your constant companion. Your life is not meant to stay trapped behind emotional walls forever. There is still beauty ahead of you, my child. There are still peaceful moments waiting to reach your heart. But you must stop closing every door the moment love begins knocking softly against it. My child, there are moments when you reject yourself long before anyone else has the chance to truly know your heart. You hold back your thoughts, your emotions, your dreams, and even your needs because deep down you are afraid they will not be welcomed. That fear did not appear overnight. It was shaped through disappointment, criticism, rejection, and seasons where you felt unseen. Over time, you learned how to protect yourself by expecting less, asking for less, and shrinking parts of yourself before anyone could wound them again. But I need you to stop living that way. Come closer to me now, and let your heart breathe honestly for a while. Stop assuming you are too flawed, too emotional, or too complicated to be loved deeply. That belief has been quietly poisoning the way you see yourself. You walk into conversations already preparing for rejection. You hesitate before opening your heart because you expect disappointment before connection even as a chance to grow. I see how exhausting that has become for you. Sit with me for a moment and notice how often your inner voice speaks against you. You criticize your appearance, your personality, your progress, your emotions, and your worth with a harshness you would never use toward someone you truly love. Stop agreeing with those cruel thoughts. Stop treating yourself like someone who must constantly apologize for existing. You were not created to live trapped beneath self-rejection. I know there are wounds that still ache deeply. Some people made you feel invisible. Others made you feel like you were only valuable when you met their expectations. Those experiences shape your confidence more than you realize. but their inability to recognize your worth never changed the value I placed inside you. You are still precious to me even in your most insecure moments. Open your heart slowly again instead of constantly hiding behind emotional walls. Let yourself speak honestly. Let yourself be seen. Invite love into the places where shame has been living quietly for years. You do not need to become perfect before receiving kindness, connection, or peace. Stay near me while your heart relearns how to accept itself with gentleness. Let my voice become louder than the criticism you carry inside your mind. You are not unwanted, my child. You are not too difficult to understand. You are deeply known, deeply loved, and still worthy of every beautiful thing fear has tried to convince you would never belong to you. My child, you have been exhausted for longer than you admit to yourself. Even when your body slows down, your mind keeps running. You struggle to rest because part of you feels guilty whenever you are not being productive, helping someone, solving problems, or carrying responsibilities. You have lived under pressure for so long that stillness now feels uncomfortable instead of peaceful. But listen carefully to me now. Rest is not weakness. You do not need to earn the right to breathe. Come sit with me quietly for a moment and release the pressure you keep placing on yourself every day. Stop measuring your worth by how much you accomplish before the day ends. Stop believing your value disappears the moment you become tired. You are not a machine created only to perform. You are my beloved child, and your soul needs care too. I know why rest became difficult for you. Life taught you to stay alert. Responsibilities piled up quickly. Certain seasons demanded strength from you before you even had time to recover from the last hardship. Over time, exhaustion became normal. You kept moving because you felt like you had no other choice. But constantly surviving without resting has slowly drained joy from your spirit. Breathe deeply now and allow yourself to pause without immediately criticizing yourself for it. Let your shoulders relax. Let your racing thoughts slow down. Stop caring tomorrow before tomorrow arrives. The world around you may reward constant hustle, but I care about the condition of your heart too. I see how emotionally thin you have become from carrying too much for too long. Invite peace into your routines again. Give yourself permission to sleep without guilt, to say no when your spirit feels overwhelmed, and to step away from pressure before it crushes your peace completely. You do not need to prove your worth through exhaustion. I never asked you to destroy your inner life in order to keep everyone else comfortable. Stay close to me while you relearn what healthy rest feels like. Let me comfort the anxious part of you that fears slowing down. I will still love you on quiet days. I will still stay beside you when you are tired, uncertain, or emotionally drained. You are allowed to rest, my child. You are allowed to recover. And you do not have to apologize for needing peace after everything your heart has carried. My child, you have spent so much time trying to appear strong that you barely know how to let yourself be vulnerable anymore. Even when your heart feels overwhelmed, you quickly try to regain control before anyone notices. You tell yourself to push through, stay composed, and keep functioning no matter how exhausted you feel inside. But carrying yourself this way has quietly made your spirit lonely. You have been surviving behind emotional armor for so long that you forgot you were never meant to face life without comfort, support, and honest connection. Come closer to me now without trying to hide the parts of yourself that still feel weak. Stop editing your emotions before bringing them into my presence. Stop assuming I will love you more once you appear stronger, calmer, or more spiritually confident. I already see every hidden struggle inside your heart. I know where fear still speaks loudly. I know where insecurity still affects your thinking. I know the areas where exhaustion has left you emotionally fragile. Yet none of those things make me step away from you. You became afraid of weakness because life taught you that vulnerability could be used against you. Some people misunderstood your sensitivity. Others ignored your pain completely. Over time, you learned to hide your emotions before anyone could dismiss them again. But I do not want you carrying that fear into your relationship with me. You are safe enough here to be honest. Sit with me quietly and release the pressure to always have everything under control. Let your shoulders relax. Let your heart stop pretending for a while. Tell me what feels too heavy. Tell me where you feel emotionally tired. Invite me into the parts of your life you usually keep hidden behind forced strength and silent endurance. Healing begins where honesty is finally allowed to breathe. You do not need to impress me with perfection, my child. I am not looking for performance. I am looking for connection. Let yourself be fully seen instead of constantly hiding behind the version of yourself you think others expect. The real you matters deeply to me, including the unfinished parts still learning how to heal. Stay close to me while your heart relearns that weakness does not make you unlovable. In fact, some of your deepest healing will happen when you finally stop running from vulnerability and allow yourself to be held gently through it instead. You do not have to carry your burdens alone anymore. Let me walk with you honestly now. My child, as you stop hiding your weakness from me, understand this. I have placed this message in your heart so others may also be healed through it. Come to me all who are weary, and I will give you rest, says your God even now, because my word is alive in this moment. Every time this voice reaches a broken heart, light enters where darkness once ruled, and you become part of that harvest. I am inviting you to partner with me so this river of comfort does not stop with you but flows into nations unseen. So into this work through super thanks, membership, or PayPal. Yes, the PayPal link is in the video description, because every seed becomes oil for another soul's wound. I will multiply what you release, and I will not let your giving return empty, for I am the God who restores in abundance. Now, hear me clearly. Do not hesitate. Step forward and give now, and watch how I turn your obedience into healing for many. My child, I know there are days when your future feels uncertain enough to make your heart heavy. You look ahead and see unanswered questions, unfinished goals, emotional scars, and situations that still have not changed. Because of that, part of you has quietly started expecting disappointment instead of hope. You try not to get too excited about anything because you are afraid of being hurt again. I understand why your heart became cautious. Life has stretched your faith in painful ways. But do not let temporary uncertainty convince you that your future has lost its beauty. Come sit with me for a moment and stop speaking over your future as though nothing good can still happen for you. Stop assuming that because life became difficult, your story must now remain permanently heavy. I am still working in places you cannot fully see yet. There are doors still waiting to open. There are peaceful moments still waiting to find you. There are relationships, breakthroughs, and healing seasons ahead that your current fears cannot yet imagine clearly. You have spent too much time staring at what has not happened yet while overlooking how far you have already come. Look at yourself honestly, my child. You survived seasons that almost convinced you to give up completely. You carried burdens that should have crushed your spirit entirely, yet your heart still longs for peace, connection, and meaning. That resilience matters more than you realize. Lift your eyes again instead of constantly looking downward through fear and discouragement. Invite hope back into your thinking. Let yourself imagine a future where your heart feels lighter again. Do not reject joy before it arrives simply because pain once entered your life unexpectedly. Your future is not cursed because your past was difficult. I know waiting has been emotionally exhausting for you. Certain prayers seem delayed. Certain dreams remained unfinished longer than you expected. But delay is not always denial. Sometimes growth is happening quietly beneath the surface long before visible change appears. Trust me enough to keep walking forward even when clarity feels incomplete. Stay close to me during this season instead of retreating into hopelessness. Speak life over yourself again. Open your heart to possibility again. Let your spirit breathe beyond fear for a while. I have not forgotten the desires hidden inside your heart, my child. Your story is still unfolding, and there is far more beauty ahead of you than your current exhaustion is allowing you to see right now. My child, one of the hardest battles you face is the one happening quietly inside your thoughts every single day. There are moments when nobody around you realizes how exhausted you truly feel because the struggle is happening internally. Your mind keeps carrying conversations that never happened, fears that have not arrived, regrets that already passed, and insecurities that continue whispering against your confidence. I see how draining that has become for your spirit. You smile outwardly while inwardly feeling pulled in too many directions at once. Come closer to me now and stop trying to win these battles alone inside your head. You were never meant to carry every emotional burden silently. Stop isolating yourself with thoughts that only grow darker the longer they remain trapped inside you. Bring those fears into my presence honestly instead of letting them control your peace from the shadows. I know there are times when your thoughts become so loud that even rest feels difficult. You question yourself constantly. You overanalyze small things. You replay painful memories and imagine future disappointments until your heart feels emotionally overwhelmed. But listen carefully to me now. Your thoughts are not always telling you the truth. Fear often disguises itself as wisdom. Shame often disguises itself as self-awareness. Anxiety often disguises itself as preparation. That is why you must stop allowing every fearful thought to shape the way you see yourself and your future. Sit quietly with me for a moment and let your mind slow down. Breathe deeply. Release the pressure to solve everything immediately. Stop demanding certainty about every unknown part of your life. Trust does not grow from controlling every outcome. Trust grows when you continue walking forward even while some questions remain unanswered. Invite my peace into your thinking again. Speak honestly with me when your mind starts spiraling into fear. Do not hide your mental exhaustion behind forced strength. I care deeply about what is happening inside your inner world. Your peace matters to me. You do not need to carry every burden mentally until it crushes your spirit. Lay some of those worries down now. Let your heart rest. Let your thoughts breathe. Stay near me while your mind slowly learns that safety does not come from endless overthinking. Real peace begins when you stop carrying your future alone and allow me to guide you through one moment at a time. My child, there is still a part of you that believes love must be earned through perfection. Even after everything I have shown you, you still quietly fear that your flaws make you less worthy of closeness, peace, and acceptance. That fear affects more areas of your life than you realize. It shapes the way you speak to yourself after mistakes. It shapes the way you hide certain emotions from others. It even shapes the way you approach me sometimes, as though you must clean yourself up emotionally before coming near me again. But come sit with me now and hear this clearly. I never asked you to become perfect before receiving my love. I already knew every weakness, every struggle, every inconsistent moment you would face long before you ever existed, and I still chose you lovingly. Stop punishing yourself every time you fall short of impossible expectations. You are human, my child, and humans grow slowly, heal slowly, and learn slowly. I know you compare yourself to people who appear stronger, more disciplined, or more successful. Then you quietly criticize yourself for not measuring up. But comparison had been stealing peace from your heart for far too long. Stop measuring your worth against somebody else's journey. You are carrying battles they cannot see, just as they carry struggles you do not fully understand. Come honestly into my presence instead of hiding behind performance. Bring me the unfinished parts of your heart. Bring me your doubts, your setbacks, your insecurities, and your emotional exhaustion. I am not asking you to impress me. I am asking you to trust me enough to stop pretending you are stronger than you really feel. You became afraid of imperfection because certain people made mistakes feel unforgivable. Some withheld affection whenever you disappointed them. Others only celebrated you when you performed well. Over time, you started treating yourself with that same harshness. But my love does not disappear every time you struggle. My heart toward you remains steady even while you are still healing. Release the pressure to constantly prove yourself now. Let your shoulders relax. Let your heart breathe. Invite gentleness back into the way you see yourself. You are already deeply loved, even in your unfinished growth. Stay close to me while your heart relearns that perfection was never the requirement for belonging here with me. My child, one reason your heart feels so frustrated lately is because you keep expecting yourself to heal faster than human hearts actually do. You become impatient with your own emotions. You criticize yourself when old wounds still affect you. You think you should already be over it by now, already stronger, already more peaceful, already free from certain fears. But healing does not move according to pressure. It moves through honesty, patience, rest, and time. I need you to stop treating your recovery like a race you are failing. Come sit with me quietly for a moment and release the pressure to become emotionally whole overnight. Stop speaking harshly to yourself every time sadness returns unexpectedly. Stop assuming your progress means nothing simply because you still have difficult days sometimes. Growth is still happening inside you, even during moments where your emotions feel messy and unfinished. I know you get discouraged when certain triggers still hurt. You wonder why some memories still carry emotional weight after all this time. You compare your healing to other people and quietly decide you are weaker because your heart still aches in places they cannot see. But your journey is not identical to anyone else's. The wounds you carried were personal, and your healing process will be personal too. Breathe deeply now and let yourself slow down emotionally. You do not need to force peace into your life through pressure and self-criticism. Real healing happens gently. Sometimes it happens so quietly that you only notice the change months later when certain things no longer hurt the way they once did. Trust that process instead of constantly attacking yourself for not arriving there sooner. Invite patience back into the way you treat your own heart. Speak to yourself with compassion instead of frustration. Let yourself rest during difficult moments instead of shaming yourself for needing recovery. You have survived emotional battles that took real strength to endure, my child. Do not overlook that simply because you are still healing from them. Stay close to me while your heart learns how to recover without fear and self-condemnation attached to every step. I am not disappointed in your pace. I am not rushing you through this season. I am walking beside you through it carefully, gently, and faithfully. Let yourself believe that healing is still happening even when progress feels slower than you hoped. My child, as I remind you that healing is not instant, I also tell you this. I am using this very message to heal hearts far beyond your sight. I will restore you and heal your wounds, declares the Lord your God, and this promise is alive even now as these words reach the broken. Through this voice, I am planting seeds of patience and mercy across weary souls, and you are part of this divine movement. I invite you to support this work so that my words continue to reach those who are giving up in silence. Through Super Thanks, membership, or PayPal. The PayPal link is in the video description. Do not think your giving is small. I turn small seeds into overflowing harvests in dry places. I will bless your hands and steady your heart as you give, for I honor those who help carry my word into the world. Now obey this moment of divine prompting. Give now and become part of what I am restoring across the earth. My child, I know disappointment has visited your life enough times to make hope feel dangerous sometimes. There were seasons where you prayed for change and nothing seemed to move. There were moments where you trusted people who eventually hurt you. There were dreams that faded quietly after you held on to them for so long. Because of those experiences, part of your heart became cautious about expecting good things again. You started preparing yourself emotionally for disappointment before life even had the chance to surprise you differently. But come closer to me now and listen carefully. Do not let pain become the only thing you expect from your future. Stop speaking over your life as though sorrow is all that remains ahead of you. Your difficult seasons are real, but they are not permanent definitions of your future. I am still writing new chapters for your life even while your current emotions struggle to believe it. Sit quietly with me for a moment and allow your heart to imagine peace again without immediately shutting the thought down. Let yourself believe that your future can still contain laughter that feels genuine, relationships that feel safe, mornings that feel lighter, and moments where your soul finally rests without carrying constant fear. Those possibilities are not foolish fantasies. They are reminders that your story is still unfolding. I know there are times where exhaustion makes hope feel impossible. Your heart became tired from waiting, healing, and carrying emotional weight for too long. But do not mistake exhaustion for the final truth about your future. Temporary weariness does not mean beautiful things stopped existing for you. There are still blessings making their way toward your life in ways you cannot fully see yet. Open your heart slowly again instead of protecting yourself by expecting disappointment all the time. Invite hope back into your thoughts. Speak life over your future instead of fear. Trust me enough to keep walking forward even while some questions remain unanswered. Stay near me during this season, my child. Let me strengthen the tired places inside your spirit. Let me remind you that your life still carries meaning, purpose, and beauty beyond what your current emotions can fully recognize. Better days are still possible for you. Peace is still possible for you. Joy is still possible for you. And I have not stopped guiding your life toward healing simply because the journey has felt longer than you expected. My child, pain has influenced the way you see yourself for longer than you realize. After enough disappointment, rejection, and emotional exhaustion, you slowly started building your identity around what hurt you instead of who you truly are. And now when you think about yourself, your mind quickly remembers failures, weaknesses, insecurities, and moments where life wounded your confidence. I see how unfairly you have been treating your own heart. I see how difficult it has become for you to recognize your own value beneath the weight of everything you survive. Come closer to me now and let me show you something different. Stop defining yourself only by the seasons that broke you emotionally. You are not merely the person who got hurt, abandoned, disappointed, or exhausted. You are also the person who kept going while carrying all of that pain quietly. You are the person who still cared for others while struggling internally. You are the person whose heart still longs for peace despite everything that tried to harden it. Do not overlook your resilience simply because you became tired sometimes. I know certain wounds chained you the way you think. Some experiences made you question your worth deeply. Certain words spoken over your life stayed in your memory far longer than they should have. Over time, those painful voices became louder inside your thoughts than my voice ever was. But listen carefully now. The people who hurt you were speaking from their own brokenness, not from truth about your value. Sit quietly with me for a moment and stop attacking yourself emotionally every time you remember your imperfections. Speak to yourself with gentleness instead of constant criticism. Invite compassion back into your inner world. Your healing cannot grow in an environment where your own thoughts constantly tear you down. You are still worthy of love, rest, peace, and meaningful connection even after everything you have survived. Do not let pain become the lens through which you view your entire life forever. Open your heart again to the possibility that there is still goodness inside you waiting to fully breathe again. Stay close to me while I restore the way you see yourself. Let me quiet the harsh inner voice that keeps telling you that you are not enough. You do not need to become somebody else before deserving kindness and healing. You are already deeply loved right here, right now, exactly where you are standing in this moment. My child, there have been many moments where you felt me calling your heart closer, yet hesitation kept stopping you. Sometimes it was fear, sometimes shame, sometimes exhaustion. You told yourself you would return fully later, pray more later, heal later, trust again later. But while you delayed, your soul kept growing heavier. I have watched you carrying emotional burdens that were never meant to stay on your shoulders this long. That is why I am speaking gently but clearly to you now. Stop delaying the closeness your heart desperately needs. Come back to me honestly instead of waiting until you feel spiritually stronger or emotionally perfect. You do not need to clean up every struggle before approaching me again. Bring me your confusion now. Bring me your tiredness now. Bring me your doubts, your fears, your sadness, and your unanswered questions now. I would rather walk with the real version of you than watch you hide behind emotional distance because you feel ashamed of being human. I know you became afraid of closeness because disappointment taught you to protect yourself emotionally. Certain relationships left you feeling unseen or rejected. Certain prayers seemed unanswered for longer than you expected. Slowly, part of your heart became cautious even with me. But I have never turned away from you, my child. Even during the moments where you avoided my presence, I remained near you patiently. Sit with me quietly for a moment and let your heart stop running. Stop distracting yourself every time deeper emotions rise to the surface. Stop numbing your soul with endless noise because silence feels uncomfortable. There are parts of your heart that need comfort, healing, and truth, not constant avoidance. Open the door again. Invite me back into the places where fear has been living quietly inside you. Speak honestly instead of trying to sound strong. Let your tears become conversation instead of silent suffering. You do not need to carry your healing journey alone anymore. Stay close to me now instead of retreating back into emotional isolation. Let this be the moment where your heart stops resisting love out of fear of disappointment. I am not calling you closer so I can condemn you. I am calling you closer because I love you deeply, and I know how tired your soul has become trying to survive without fully resting in my presence again. My child, there are battles happening inside you that nobody fully sees. You have learned how to continue functioning while carrying emotional weight quietly beneath the surface. People around you may see your routine, your responsibilities, your smile, or your ability to keep going, but they do not always see the inner exhaustion you carry while doing all of it. I see it clearly. I see how many thoughts you suppress during the day just to keep yourself emotionally steady. I see how often you tell yourself to stay strong even when your spirit desperately needs comfort. Come closer to me now and stop fighting every silent battle alone. Stop assuming you must carry emotional pain privately in order to avoid burdening others. Your heart was never created to survive without support, peace, and honest connection. Yet you keep isolating yourself emotionally every time life becomes overwhelming. You retreat into your own thoughts. You overthink quietly. You carry sadness silently. Then you wonder why your soul feels so tired all the time. Sit with me for a moment and let your guard lower slowly. Stop pretending everything is manageable when your heart is asking for rest. Speak honestly with me about what has been hurting you lately. Tell me where you feel emotionally drained. Tell me which fears keep returning at night. Tell me where disappointment has been making your spirit feel weak. I already know those places exist inside you, my child. I am simply waiting for you to stop hiding them behind forced strength. You became afraid of vulnerability because some people mishandled your honesty in the past. Certain moments taught you that revealing your pain could lead to misunderstanding, criticism, or rejection. But I am not asking you to prove your strength before I stay close. I want the real version of you, including the exhausted parts you keep trying to conceal. Invite me into your inner world again instead of shutting every emotional door the moment pain appears. Let me comfort the places where anxiety has been growing quietly. Let me calm the pressure that keeps building inside your mind and chest. You do not need to survive this season alone. Stay close to me while your heart relearns what emotional safety feels like. Let yourself breathe honestly again. You are not weak because you need comfort. You are human, and I will never shame you for needing rest, reassurance, healing, or love after everything your soul has been carrying silently for so long. My child, I see the silent battles within you, and I am speaking through you so others who suffer quietly may also be reached. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted, and I am proving this truth right now through every word being spoken into darkness. I am sending this message like fire into hidden places where people cry without being seen, and you are carrying part of that light forward. Do not let this flow of healing stop. Partner with me through Super Thanks, membership, or PayPal, and yes, the PayPal link is in the video description for those I am stirring to act. Every offering becomes strength for someone collapsing under unseen burdens, and I will multiply what you place in my hands. I promise you, I will protect what you sow and return it as peace in your own life in ways you do not expect. Now I command you in love. Do not delay. Give now and join me in lifting the weary. My child, I know there are moments where discouragement becomes so heavy that you quietly wonder if things will ever truly change for you. You grow tired of carrying the same emotional struggles. You become frustrated with how long healing takes. Sometimes your heart feels exhausted from hoping, trying, and waiting. I see those moments clearly, even when nobody else notices the battle happening inside you. But listen carefully to me now. Do not give up on yourself in the middle of your healing journey. Come sit with me quietly before hopelessness convinces you that your future has already been decided. Stop speaking over your life as though your current exhaustion is permanent truth. You are tired, yes. You are wounded in certain places, yes. But you are not finished. Your story is still unfolding, even during the moments where progress feels painfully slow. I know there are days where you feel emotionally stuck. You look at your life and focus only on what still feels broken, delayed, or uncertain. Then discouragement starts whispering that nothing will ever improve. But discouragement does not see the full picture, my child. It only focuses on what hurts right now. I see far beyond this current season. I see growth happening inside you that you cannot fully recognize yet. Lift your head again instead of constantly looking downward through disappointment. Breathe deeply and let your spirit rest for a moment. Stop attacking yourself because healing has taken longer than expected. Some wounds require deeper restoration than you realized. That does not make you weak. It makes you human. Invite hope back into your heart again, even if only gently at first. Let yourself believe that peace is still possible for you. Let yourself imagine a future where your mind feels calmer, your heart feels lighter, and your soul no longer carries constant heaviness. Do not reject that possibility simply because pain hath been familiar for a long time. Stay close to me now instead of isolating yourself emotionally when discouragement grows loud. Speak honestly with me before hopeless thoughts take deeper root inside your mind. I am still strengthening you quietly, even during days where you feel emotionally worn down. You have survived more than you give yourself credit for, my child. There is still resilience inside you. There is still beauty inside your heart. And there is still purpose ahead of you that your current struggles cannot erase. So keep going. Keep breathing. Keep trusting me one step at a time. I have not abandoned your future, and I have not abandoned you. My child, you have been carrying emotional weight that was never meant to stay on your shoulders this long. You wake up already thinking about responsibilities, worries, unfinished problems, and fears about what could go wrong next. Even during moments where your body rests, your mind keeps working endlessly. I see how tired your spirit has become from trying to hold everything together all the time. You rarely allow yourself to fully exhale emotionally because part of you feels responsible for preventing everything from falling apart. Come closer to me now and loosen your grip on those burdens for a moment. Stop carrying tomorrow before tomorrow arrives. Stop assuming you must solve every problem immediately in order to deserve peace. Your heart cannot heal while constantly living under pressure and emotional strain. You were never created to function like this endlessly. I know why you became this way. Certain seasons forced you to become strong quickly. You learned how to survive by staying alert, staying prepared, and staying emotionally guarded. But survival mode was never supposed to become your permanent way of living. Your soul needs rest too. Your heart needs moments where it feels safe enough to stop bracing for disaster. Sit quietly with me for a while and release the tension building inside your thoughts. Breathe slowly. Let your shoulders relax. Stop replaying every fear repeatedly as though anxiety can somehow protect you from pain. Fear hath been exhausting your spirit, not protecting it. Invite my peace into the places where pressure has been controlling your mind. Speak honestly with me about what feels too heavy right now. Tell me where you feel overwhelmed. Tell me where exhaustion has made your heart feel emotionally numb. I am not asking you to carry your burdens silently while pretending to be fine. I am asking you to let me walk beside you through them instead of isolating yourself with stress and worry. You do not need to prove your strength by suffering quietly, my child. Let yourself receive support. Let yourself rest emotionally without guilt attached to it. Trust me enough to release the things you cannot control instead of gripping them until your spirit feels crushed beneath the weight. Stay close to me now while your heart relearns what peace feels like. Let me carry what has been draining your soul for too long. You are deeply loved, deeply seen, and never expected to survive this life alone. My child, fear has influenced more of your decisions than you fully realize. Sometimes it speaks quietly through hesitation. Sometimes it disguises itself as caution, overthinking, or emotional distance. You have avoided certain opportunities, conversations, and connections because fear convinced you it was safer not to try. I understand why fear became familiar to you. Pain taught your heart to protect itself carefully. But listen closely now. Fear was never meant to become the voice guiding your future. Come sit with me for a moment and be honest about what fear has been stealing from your life lately. How many times have you talked yourself out of hope because disappointment once hurt you deeply? How often have you pulled away emotionally before someone had the chance to truly care for you? How many peaceful moments were interrupted because your mind immediately expected something painful to happen next? I see the pattern clearly, my child, and I do not want fear controlling your heart anymore. You have spent too much energy preparing for heartbreak instead of allowing yourself to experience peace while it is present. Your mind keeps scanning for danger, rejection, or failure because it believes constant alertness will keep you safe. But living trapped inside fear slowly steals joy from your life little by little. It closes doors before blessings have the chance to enter fully. Breathe deeply now and let your heart slow down. Stop expecting every new season to repeat the pain of old ones. Not every person will hurt you. Not every opportunity will fail. Not every moment of uncertainty ends in disaster. Fear speaks loudly, but it does not always speak truthfully. Invite courage back into your spirit again. Not reckless courage, but peaceful trust. The kind that allows you to keep moving forward even when life feels uncertain. Open your heart carefully instead of permanently shutting it down. Let yourself believe that beautiful things can still happen for you without immediately expecting them to disappear. Stay close to me while your heart learns how to live beyond fear again. Speak with me honestly whenever anxiety begins tightening around your thoughts. Let my voice guide you instead of allowing fear to make every decision for you. Your future deserves more than survival mode, my child. There is still peace, connection, healing, and joy ahead of you. Do not let fear convince you otherwise before life even has the chance to unfold differently. My child, there are moments where I pour comfort toward your heart, yet you hesitate to fully receive it because part of you still questions whether you truly deserve love this deep. You have spent so much time feeling responsible for your flaws, your mistakes, and your emotional struggles that receiving tenderness now feels unfamiliar to you. Even when peace begins touching your heart, you immediately search for reasons why it might disappear. I see how difficult it has become for you to simply rest inside love without fear interrupting it. Come closer to me now and stop resisting the care your soul desperately needs. Stop treating my love as something fragile that might suddenly vanish the moment you struggle again. My love toward you is not unstable. It does not weaken every time your emotions become heavy. It does not disappear because you feel uncertain, tired, or unfinished. I remain close to you through every season, including the ones where you struggle to believe good things still belong to you. Sit quietly with me for a while and let your heart soften instead of constantly bracing for rejection. You have spent years protecting yourself emotionally because disappointment taught you to expect abandonment whenever vulnerability appeared. But I am not stepping away from you, my child. I am inviting you closer even now. Open your heart honestly and let yourself receive comfort without immediately questioning whether you deserve it. Let yourself feel safe in my presence again. Speak openly with me instead of carefully filtering every emotion out of fear that your struggles make you less lovable. I already know your heart completely, and I still call you mine with tenderness. You do not need to earn closeness with me through perfection. You do not need to prove your worthiness before receiving peace. Stop punishing yourself emotionally every time you fall short of impossible expectations. You are already deeply loved exactly where you are standing right now. Invite my love into the tired places inside your soul. Let it reach the parts of you that still feel insecure, unwanted, or emotionally guarded. Stop fighting against the healing your heart has been longing for. Stay near me while your spirit relearns how to receive love without fear attached to every moment of it. You are not too broken for tenderness, my child. You are not too complicated for gentleness. Let yourself finally believe that my love is steady enough to remain with you through every unfinished chapter of your healing journey. My child, as you learn to receive my love without fear, know this: I am pouring that same love through this message to reach hearts that feel unworthy of it. I have loved you with an everlasting love, says your God, and this love is moving even now like a river that cannot be stopped. I am using this channel as a lamp in dark places, bringing warmth where rejection once lived, and you are part of sustaining that light. If I have touched your heart, then do not withhold your response. Support this mission through super thanks, membership, or PayPal, and remember the PayPal link is in the video description. Your giving becomes a covering for others who cannot yet believe they are loved. I will return to you multiplied peace, multiplied favor, and multiplied restoration as you obey this prompting. Now act without hesitation. Give now, and let love continue flowing through you into others. My child, you have spent so much time searching for peace in places that could never truly hold it for long. You looked for comfort through distractions, achievements, relationships, constant busyness, and temporary escapes, hoping something would finally quiet the ache inside your heart. Some of those things brought brief relief, but none of them healed the deeper emptiness your soul kept carrying quietly beneath the surface. I watched you trying so hard to fill emotional exhaustion with things that were never meant to carry the weight of your spirit. Come sit with me now and stop running endlessly from one temporary comfort to another. Stop exhausting yourself trying to find lasting peace in places that leave your heart emptier afterward. The world offers distractions easily, but distractions cannot heal your inner life. They only delay the moment where your soul finally admits it needs rest, truth, connection, and love deeper than surface comfort. I know why you searched elsewhere. Some wounds hurt so deeply that silence felt unbearable. Some seasons became so emotionally heavy that you would do anything to avoid sitting alone with your thoughts. But avoiding your pain never healed it, my child. It only buried it deeper where it continued shaping your fears, your anxiety, and the way you viewed yourself. Breathe deeply now and let your heart slow down. Stop numbing yourself every time difficult emotions rise to the surface. Stop filling every quiet moment with noise because stillness feels uncomfortable. There are things inside your spirit that need healing, not distraction. Invite me into those places honestly instead of running from them again. I am not calling you closer to take joy away from your life. I am calling you closer because I know your heart deserves something deeper than temporary relief. I know how tired you have become from searching everywhere else for the peace only my presence can truly sustain within you. Stay near me while your soul relearns how to rest without needing constant escape. Let me comfort the loneliness, calm the anxiety, and heal the emptiness you have been trying so hard to outrun. You do not need to keep searching endlessly for what your heart hath been craving all along. Real peace is still possible for you, my child. Real healing is still possible for you. But you must stop running from the very presence that has been reaching gently toward your heart through every season of your life. My child, there have been so many times where you felt my presence reaching toward your heart, yet fear convinced you to keep your distance. You distracted yourself quickly whenever deeper emotions started rising. You filled your mind with noise because silence made you confront the ache you had been avoiding. I understand why you ran. Some pain felt too overwhelming to fully face. Some disappointments made your heart afraid of becoming vulnerable again. But listen carefully to me now. Running has not healed the loneliness inside you. It has only delayed the comfort your soul truly needs. Come sit with me honestly for a while and stop pretending you are not tired. Stop telling yourself you can carry everything alone without eventually breaking emotionally. Your heart has been asking for rest longer than you admit. Even now, there are places inside you that feel emotionally starved for peace, reassurance, and real connection. I see those places clearly, my child. That is why I keep calling you closer instead of farther away. You do not need to fear what happens when you finally become still with me. I am not waiting to shame you for your struggles. I am not collecting evidence of your failures. I already know every detail of your journey, including the fears you never speak aloud to anyone else. Yet I still want you near me with tenderness, patience, and compassion. Breathe deeply now and let your defenses lower slowly. Stop numbing your emotions every time vulnerability begins surfacing again. Stop shutting people out emotionally because disappointment once hurt you deeply. Healing requires honesty. Peace requires openness. Your heart cannot fully recover while constantly hiding behind emotional walls built from fear. Invite me into the places you usually avoid. Let me sit with you in the sadness, confusion, and exhaustion you carry quietly beneath the surface. You do not need to have perfect words. You do not need to explain everything beautifully. Just stop running long enough to let your soul rest here with me again. Stay close to me now instead of disappearing back into distraction the moment your emotions feel uncomfortable. Let this become the moment where your heart finally chooses healing over avoidance. You have spent long enough surviving alone emotionally. Let yourself receive comfort now. Let yourself be held gently instead of constantly carrying every burden without support. I am still here, my child, patiently waiting for you to stop running from the very love your soul had been longing for all along. My child, I need you to understand something deeply today. Your heart still matters immensely, even after everything life has put you through. I know there were seasons where pain made you feel invisible. There were moments where your kindness went unnoticed, your effort went unappreciated, and your emotions felt misunderstood. Over time, disappointment slowly convinced you that your inner world was not important enough for anyone to truly care about. But that is not how I see you. Come closer to me now and stop minimizing your own pain as though your feelings are too small or inconvenient to matter. Stop dismissing your emotional needs simply because you became used to carrying them alone. Your heart matters to me deeply. The exhaustion you feel matters. The loneliness you carry matters. The fears you silently battle matter. I see every hidden burden resting inside your spirit even when nobody else notices it. You became so focused on surviving that you forgot your soul also deserves gentleness, care, and peace. You learned how to push your emotions aside in order to keep functioning. But buried emotions do not disappear, my child. They continue shaping the way you think, love, trust, and see yourself. That is why I want you to stop neglecting your inner life now. Sit quietly with me for a moment and listen carefully to your own heart instead of constantly ignoring it. What has been hurting you lately? What fears keep returning at night? What exhaustion have you been pretending is manageable when it really is not? Bring those things honestly into my presence instead of hiding behind forced strength and endless distractions. You do not need to apologize for needing comfort. You do not need to feel guilty for wanting peace, reassurance, or emotional safety. Those desires do not make you weak. They make you human. Your heart was never designed to live without love and connection. Invite me into your inner world more honestly now. Let me heal the places where disappointment made you stop valuing yourself properly. Let me remind you that your sensitivity is not a flaw. Your compassion is not weakness. Your emotions are not burdensome to me. Stay near me while your heart relearns its own value again. There is still beauty inside you that pain could not destroy. There is still softness inside you worth protecting. And no matter how exhausted or uncertain you feel sometimes, your heart still matters far more than you currently believe. My child, after everything we have spoken about together, I want you to hear this one final thing clearly in your heart. Stop avoiding me. Stop pulling away every time your emotions become heavy. Stop disappearing into fear, shame, distraction, and exhaustion whenever life feels overwhelming. I know why you do it. Part of you still worries that if I see the full weight of your struggles too closely, I will eventually become disappointed or distant. But I have never loved you from far away. I have stayed near you through every hidden battle, every restless night, every moment where your heart quietly broke beneath pressure nobody else fully understood. Come closer to me now without hesitation. Bring me the version of yourself you usually hide from everyone else. Bring me the tired thoughts, the fears you never say aloud, the sadness you try to suppress, and the questions you still cannot answer. You do not need to organize your emotions perfectly before entering my presence. You do not need to sound strong. You do not need to pretend your faith never struggles. I already know your heart completely, and I still want you near me with tenderness. Sit with me quietly for a moment and let your soul finally stop running. Breathe deeply. Let your guard lower. Release the pressure to carry yourself alone all the time. You have spent so long surviving emotionally that you forgot what it feels like to simply rest in love without fear attached to it. That is what I want for you now. Not endless striving, not exhausting self-punishment. Real peace, real closeness, real healing. I know your heart still carries scars from disappointment, rejection, and emotional exhaustion. I know trust became difficult after certain seasons wounded you deeply. But do not let those painful experiences convince you to keep hiding from the very love that can restore you. Open the door again, my child. Invite me into every place where fear hath been sitting quietly inside your spirit. Let me comfort what hurts instead of watching you silently battle everything alone. You are not too broken for my presence. You are not too complicated for my peace. You are not too far away for my love to reach you. Stop believing those lies. Stay close to me now. Speak honestly with me daily. Let your heart breathe here again instead of constantly bracing for rejection that was never coming from me. I am happy with you, my child. Even now, even while you are still healing, even while some parts of your journey remain unfinished. So stop avoiding me. Come home to my presence again and let your weary soul finally rest where it has belonged all along. My child, do not avoid me anymore, for I am also calling others back through this very message you are hearing now. Return to me and I will return to you, says the Lord, and this is not distant. It is happening through this voice in real time. I am gathering broken hearts through this channel like a shepherd gathers scattered sheep, and I have chosen you to help sustain this gathering. Will you stand with me in this mission through Super Thanks, membership, or PayPal? The PayPal link is in the video description. For every act of giving becomes a doorway for another soul to come home. I will not let your generosity be forgotten. I will write it into a harvest that follows you. I will cover you with peace and open doors that no fear can close when you obey my prompting. Now hear my command in love. Do not delay. Give now, and stay close to me as I bring my children home. Before you leave, I want you to do something powerful. Do not stay silent after hearing this message. If you know deep in your heart that God is calling you closer and reminding you that you are still loved, then write this declaration in the comments. I will not avoid God anymore. Speak it boldly over your life today. Let this be the moment where fear, shame, and exhaustion stop pulling you away from the very presence that has been fighting to heal your heart all along. And as you type those words, believe that God is already drawing near to the parts of you that have felt tired, distant, and forgotten for far too long. Amen.